like a craft beer through a pint glass. These are the gays of our lives. A show where Lisa and Avery get out their gay decoder rings to decipher the gay alphabet and bridge the gap between the older and younger LGBTQ community and everyone fucking else. And now here are your hosts, Lisa and Avery. Don't blame them.
Hey guys, it's Lisa.
And Avery.
And today on The Gays of Our Lives, we have our friend.
And we are welcoming her back this season, Jennifer Marshall.
I'm here.
It's been a year since you were here.
Yes. It's been 11 months since I was here.
Yeah, so we wanted to kind of see what had changed.
My name change is now legal.
Nice.
My gender marker is legal. I went through Morgan County and got that done August 6th, and that's really been the last big public change except for the healing process from my surgery.
And you said that was like a long healing process for sure.
I was out of school for 7 weeks, and I really didn't start to feel better until about May. So
Really?
I got ready for summer, yeah.
Wow.
Well, because you're still, that date's coming up, the anniversary of that surgery, right? Like
a week from Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say,
Yeah.
I knew it was like relatively
Soon,
soon.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just jealous, quite frankly. So,
Dr. Gallagher did a nice job.
And you are so lucky you got Dr. Gallagher. Oh my gosh. And for those who don't know, Dr. Gallagher recently left Indianapolis and is now is moving down to Miami and finishing up surgeries through February, I think. So that leaves certain trans men out here looking for a surgeon.
And certain trans women.
I was going to say,
trans
Dr.
women
Gallagher is the only one that did the trans surgeries. Am I correct?
Dr. Gallagher was the only one that did the bottom surgery for the trans females in the area. The closest one that I know besides Dr. Gallagher would be Pennsylvania.
And then it's like quality, you know what I mean? Because I'm not that I'm saying anything about this doctor in Pennsylvania. It's just Dr. Gallagher had a reputation of being the best at gender reassignment surgeries. And that's a huge deal when you're talking about a surgeon in the Midwest in Little Indiana. And it's like, as much as I would love a trip to Miami, I don't think Allie would love transporting me back from top surgery from Miami.
You don't want to fly?
I don't fly. I don't. I flew to Vermont, and I thought I was going to die every 5 minutes.
So that puts you guys at a loss because you have a little bit more surgery to do. Is that correct?
I wouldn't mind having another surgery.
Okay. And now it's just you got to find somebody. Wait and find somebody.
Yeah, I have to wait.
And that's God, and honestly, that's like the worst part of gender dysphoria, is you're constantly told to be patient and just wait, and it'll come. And to be fair, that's true with hormones and all that. But when it comes to surgery, and you like feel it within your grasp, like I just got my insurance from Starbucks, and it's awesome because that like literally out of pocket, we're talking $750 to change my whole life to what it is supposed to be, right? But now I have to go a state away, figure out lodging for a week because transporting me like that's going to be hell, let alone I have to wait for my drainage tubes to come out. Yeah. So it's like, and then with bottom surgeries, it's almost impossible to find a surgeon, and it's just rough. Yeah. It's a constant waiting game and telling yourself you're going to be okay.
Dysphoria is no fun, and being trans and being dysphoric from time to time, and even now there is still some dysphoria even after the surgery. Mm-hmm. It's just a very patient game of waiting and coming up with the money. It's very expensive to be trans.
Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even like past hormones and surgery and all that. Like, and then there's obviously like, I think everybody needs therapy personally because I think everybody's nuts. But I think like when you have like a depression like that, you literally need someone to talk to about it, and it can just really rack up.
Yeah. I'm sure. Like I said, I can't even imagine. But now, so with her being gone, just trans people have to just look somewhere else and just outside of the state.
Well,
there's nobody in Indiana at all.
Well, if they can afford a plastic surgeon, but then if we're talking about bottom surgery, I don't really know if there's anyone. Yeah.
Bottom surgery, there's nobody in this. Top surgery, the guys can go with a plastic surgeon
if they can afford it.
If they can afford it.
Because insurance wouldn't cover it.
Mm-hmm. And like
that's
for
the
me,
thing
that's
with a lot of trans stuff is insurance either doesn't want to pay it or doesn't cover it.
Well, and then there's a lot of surgeons who won't take insurance for, like, because plastic surgeons, they can obviously make that money because they obviously realize it's something you want.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when it's something like top surgery or bottom surgery, it's obviously something you really, really want. It's not just like, oh, my husband doesn't like my tits anymore and I need a lift. Like, it's not like that. It's like I physically can't handle this.
Yeah. So you got your driver's license changed too,
Yes,
didn't you?
Got my name changed. I got my driver's license changed. I got the truck changed. I got the deed on the house changed. I got everything changed. It's been a 3-month process for the most part. There's still some things that I've got to change. I've not changed my passport yet.
Oh, yeah.
But-
well, I mean, that you might as well wait until you have to renew it, I feel
Yeah.
like. You know what I mean? Just passports are expensive as hell.
But that was easy, $150, $160 just to turn in the paperwork to the courts to get that changed, and another 3-month long process. Because I think I turned the first paperwork in April, and they didn't rule on the change until April, with a court appearance for suppression. And it's just a long process.
And people that think this is just a choice.
Choice, yeah. I had a
Well-
choice. You want to know what my choice was? Live or die.
That's what I was going to say, live or die.
That was my choice.
Mm-hmm.
Either go through this transformation or take my own life.
And that's the common theme.
And I got my butterfly tattoo to prove it.
And that's such a common theme, and it's sad. I mean, it's sad that it has to be that way. And then it's so hard, it sounds like, for you guys to be able to do all this. And it's just like,
Well, it's definitely a process.
Yeah,
I mean, because just like, let alone, because so, like, let's say we just start from the beginning. You come out. That already is one of the most difficult parts of the whole
yeah.
thing, and it's at the very goddamn beginning. And then
And
from
you come out gradually. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Make an announcement on Facebook that you can't do that.
BT does. I'm a dude now. Like,
surprise, here I am. Yeah.
It was a 5-year process for me. Between when I saw the therapist for the first time and she said I was trans to when I had surgery.
yeah, I'm going on year 3 now, waiting on my surgery.
Wow. And, you know, and just coming out as gay is hard enough.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to go change anything or do anything, you know? So I can't even imagine having to go through all these hoops and all this money and all this stuff just to be who I felt like I was.
Yeah.
Because with, you know, with being gay, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier.
Well,
I don't want to know how much I've spent on hormones. I don't want to know how much I've spent on electrolysis.
I don't want to think
I
about
don't
any of
want to
that.
think about how much I've
Electrolysis,
spent
yeah.
on doctor's appointments and therapist appointments, and because to have surgery, I'm not sure about you, Avery, but for me to have surgery, I had to have 2 therapist letters plus a doctor's letter.
I only needed 1 letter, and then a doctor's. I need a letter and then a doctor's. Basically like a
Yeah,
recommendation.
That's what I had.
Yeah, but well, and then so first of all, then you feel like you have to convince people that you are who you are, and then like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like me and Jennifer are on the same page today, where every now and then you get just kind of run down, constantly just wanting to be yourself. And I feel like when I came out, like, I never had to tell people I'm a lesbian 1,000 times a day. I never had to, because that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I go to bed with at night. I don't really care if they know that when they talk to me.
That's true.
I do care if they address me as a male or treat me as one, because I'm treated as a female, which, by the way, just brings up this whole thing about why I can't stand I really appreciate strong women because they can put up with a lot of bullshit in this world. Because I'm going to tell you, when I am treated as a female, I feel belittled, I feel childish, and there is absolutely no fucking reason for that. There's no reason for this like weird machismo attitude that sometimes women get. And for some reason, the second people identify me as a woman, no matter how I look, that is the attitude I get. So just all of it.
And the bathroom is the worst.
Bathroom's the
Oh,
worst.
God, it's bad.
Do you remember, you wouldn't, but do you remember Ally McBeal? The
Why
show?
wouldn't I remember Ally McBeal?
Oh, I thought it was long before you. You're young.
Reruns are a thing. Like reruns
remember
exist.
it, but I don't
I watch
remember,
Happy
you know what I
Days
mean?
too.
But they had a non-gender bathroom. It was all gender.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't see the point in why everyone's not like that. I just don't want to see somebody peeing at the urinal,
I
and
think
I
it
don't want
should
to
be a
see.
room full of stalls, honestly.
Well, and that's the thing. And I'm like, why isn't just have the stalls?
It's so bad that I know which restrooms are all gender, which stores like Starbucks have all gender. Ohio rest stops always have a female bathroom. I'm sorry, always have a family bathroom. Excuse me, I'll say that correctly. And yeah, it's that bad that I know which ones I can walk into very freely and which ones I got to worry about what's going to be said.
I think it's getting better. I mean, up at Denver, they had bought it from a pizza place, the storefront, and it said sit and stand. And I was like, you guys really need to change that. And they did immediately because they hadn't thought of it. Because, I mean, why would they be in cisgender? You know what I mean? They didn't think about that, but I'm like, yeah, you should probably change that.
Supposed to be like a CBD store and being like supposedly like a forward-thinking.
Correct, but they never. It was right when they opened and everything, and I was like, and so they've changed it, and they've taken it off. They've taken, just bathrooms, and IU down to the School of Dentistry, all of them, it just says all gender, and I mean, they're individual bathrooms, so why wouldn't they be? Your bathroom at home is all gender.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then when you go up to so for instance, my fiance is from a small town, and there's definitely like nowhere where I feel like literally before we leave the house, I make sure I use the restroom because first of all, I feel like her parents are watching to see which bathroom I go in. Which, if I'm honest, if I'm up there, like I'll probably pick a female bathroom because I'm less likely to have the shit kicked out of me. But then on top of that, like, it's just like you feel people staring in a smaller community like that.
Exactly.
And you feel people questioning, are you one of those? And I swear to God, I got that. I can't remember where we were at up there either. It was either Meijer or Walmart. But it was just odd to even be in there. And then I had to go to the bathroom. And Allie's like, well, I'll go with you. I'm like, no, I don't want to go here. We have to go.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And I
agree totally.
And I'm sure you just get it everywhere.
You have to measure your progress so that you know how long you can go to the bathroom and be comfortable going to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And that's not fair to me.
And if you're like at a comedy club, okay, I'll say this because if I announce myself as I'm a guy, like, and I say that on stage, and so to be fair, like, I'll risk it at comedy clubs, even kind of dicey ones. I'll roll the dice there because I've already told you what's going on with me, and if you haven't beaten me up yet, I probably have a very fair shot in the bathroom. But at the same time, it's like if I go to like a seedy bar, I'm like, I can't get on a mic here. I'm probably not going to use that bathroom.
There's places I'll leave before I use the restroom there.
See, that's ridiculous.
And that's what
it's ridiculous that it has to be like that.
The population doesn't understand with trans people.
It's like, well, because I think people think like, because don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I've ever been like scared in a bathroom, but like I've literally had somebody ask me, what are you doing in here? And I have been like, what are you doing in here?
To be fair, I used to get that when back in the day of me being in the wrong restroom because I'm more butch.
You also look like Justin Bieber.
I did.
I went to the movies the other night. I was wearing a nice top and skirt. Walked into the bathroom at the end of the movie and heard two women talking. What's he doing in here?
Really?
Are you kidding me?
Because
Central Indiana.
I wouldn't question you if you walked into the women's restroom if I didn't know you even. Never would I question you. You present as a woman.
Yeah.
Welcome
period.
To Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I present as a male, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. They just see what they want to see, and they take in the first things that they are told to look for.
And that's what's so comforting now that my license has changed. I have my female name on my license. I have my female gender marker on my license. If somebody reports me to the police, I can give them my license.
Yeah. And I mean, you're going in to do your business. It's not like you're going in to check out little kids or something. Like they try to act like that's what it is.
God,
I don't get
you
that.
just really need to take a shit.
I mean,
majority of the time, I just really need to take a shit, or I wouldn't be using a public bathroom.
I just need to pee.
Right? I mean, I can't.
Well, and then on top of that, the fact that you do have to worry about getting like the police called on you, like, and that's the other thing too. It's like that. I question. I mean, don't get me wrong. The thing is, I don't think a guy is gonna call the police. I think he's gonna take matters into his own hand, and that's where I get worried about using different bathrooms.
Women would be more likely to call the police. Thinking
Correct.
I was in there for another reason.
Correct. But what other reason really? I mean,
there's only one other reason I'm in there. Check my makeup as a leaf.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, what else would they think you're in there for?
God,
that's just
because people jump to the. I don't, and again, I think it's a bunch of fear mongering that's been built up over decades too. But it's like, why would someone want to use the wrong gender bathroom? And it's always they always think it's something like, okay, like I had one guy who literally I think thought I was like trying to look at his penis, and I was just like, first of all, no. Like,
right?
No, like that's not what I want.
Yeah.
And then second of all, I really just need to use the bathroom, man. Like, and that's the other thing. It's like you don't want to be hassled when you're just doing something that's already not comfortable. It's like an incredibly vulnerable thing to do in public, and people don't see. People take it for granted being cisgender, being able to go into a bathroom comfortably.
Exactly.
And honestly,
I don't disagree with you.
it's kind of like, so like I have this burn on my hand, and like I totally took for granted having 2 functioning hands, because the last 2 weeks I haven't had 2 functioning hands, and now I just feel like, people don't really appreciate the simplicities of life. Sorry, I've clearly had a very long couple of weeks with this. Just dysphoria has been just hammering on me.
Well, I agree with you on that. I mean, people do take it for granted, and a lot of stuff, and not just dysphoria. I mean, just like you said, your hands or whatever.
Yeah.
Because with me, there's been times where I can't really walk that well, and people do take that for granted, being able to, not having to think,
just function in
pick
this world.
one foot up and put it in front of the other, which sometimes you have to think about. But it's just, I don't understand how people just think you're in there just, I don't know. And the people that are going to do that are not gay, not trans. They're the people that are just perverts that would ever do that.
Yeah.
And honestly,
It's
but
nothing.
the problem is people lump them together, because again, all of this like built up of shit from decades of them just preaching against this community that hasn't wanted to do anything other than function in society. What else are we mad about today? We've been raving a lot. I like.
Hey guys, it's Lisa with the Gays of Our Lives, and this week's episode is sponsored by my own CBD line through Denver CBD. It's actually the first one in town here that has vitamin D in it, and it's also helping with different causes. The strawberry flavor, 5% goes to cancer support community. The orange flavor, 5% goes to the National MS Society. Use my code LISA20 and get 20% off your order.
I like this. Let's just get it out. God, this is like free therapy. God, I mentioned traffic is bullshit when they're doing construction on 465.
Right? That's horrible.
So you're going to invite me down again so we can gripe and complain
Well,
about
this is the best thing ever. Next time I'll bring a bottle of wine. What?
Yes.
We'll really
I'm
get
for
this
it.
shit done. God.
Oh, wow. So you have had your bottom surgery, and you still have another surgery to do there.
I can.
You can.
I can.
But it's not needed. It's not a must, but it is for you,
It's
not
about.
It's
a
about
must, but
dysphoria.
It would be preferred.
for your
for me
dysphoria.
to
Am I
do.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
to cut down on the amount of dysphoria. The amount of dysphoria has been cut down a lot by the first surgery and the name change and all the steps that I've taken. But I will be fighting dysphoria for the rest of my life.
Truth.
It just is lessened than where it was.
Even after, if you got the bottom surgery, that and everything else, your dysphoria is still.
Because I will walk into the I'll walk into the restroom and I'll hear somebody say,
So your
What's he doing
dysphoria
in
gets
here?
affected by somebody else's saying
society.
something, not just like what you see,
a look.
not just what you see in yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that's for me being just learning this because of this show and everything about dysphoria. I thought it was more of what you saw and what not
Partially.
necessarily. Okay, so
Well,
that makes total sense.
And we've kind of said this before on the show, but I feel like it's always good to repeat. Dysphoria it picks something every time that's different.
Yeah.
It's not even always going to be something you're upset about. It could be you heard someone say something that wasn't even about you, but then all of a sudden you're like, so for instance, one of my friends was talking about like what she really likes in a man. And don't get me wrong, I'm engaged, so I don't really care what she likes in a man, but all of a sudden I realized I started feeling short in my comings because I realized it's going to be a lot of work for me to be beefy or tough or strong. And and I'm never going to be tall. Like I'm a short little guy. I'm 5'4". So that being said, like one day that'll bug me. The fact that I'm fucking short. Or like another day, what happened? Oh, or
there
even
are short men though.
I get bothered by being a tall woman.
see, and then like when you're born one way, you get into built that way. You know what I mean? I have like a figure. You do have nice shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just what happens. And then it's like so it's just an ugly monster, and you can't defend against it because you don't know what's coming.
And it can be something as simple as going to the shoe store knowing you can't pick out shoes there.
Because I'm too small to fit men's sizes, and I'm sure you have the opposite
The
problem
only
with
thing
women.
that they have in women's sizes and my size is stripper shoes. And I don't wear those.
Or work boots. I talk from personal experience.
So with school now, I mean, you didn't used to dress for school. You had said you didn't. You were just starting to dress at school. So now you're 100%. You go
100%.
and always.
This is what I wore. I'm wearing a long black skirt and this blouse, and that's what I wore in class today.
The kids don't
No
bat an
problem.
eye, do they?
No problem.
That's
See,
so nice.
Yeah.
God, that's so nice.
I have more problem from the administration.
Really? I thought they...
The older generation.
The older generation, most of them, okay, don't get me wrong, most of them have been very, very supportive. And even the ones that don't know exactly how to take me have not been negative. But when I went through the transformation, it's just like the friends that you've lost, just like me. Because you've changed.
Well, and it went farther than they thought it was going to.
Level of friendship has changed.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, and it's like, I think the other thing is how you feel about yourself changes, and then therefore your attitude towards life changes. Yeah. And I think that like, you know, people have trouble being happy for people sometimes. Yeah.
That's You're a much happier person now, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Much happier.
I feel like you're happier every time I see you. I mean, like I said, today we're both kind of like run down. But I feel like usually, like, I see, like, when we see you at comedy shows, like, I feel like you've been happier every time I've seen you.
But, I mean, the happiness of being through this has got to just be so much more of being able to be who you feel like you are and who you are.
And I know that I'm on the tail end. I'll always be going through a transformation. I'll always be trans and be moving more and more towards the female end. But my big hurdles are done.
Which has to be...
Jealous.
Yeah.
Has to be...
The surgery and the name change were the two of the biggest hurdles.
Yeah.
Well, because, and to be fair, like, I think I'm fortunate enough that I don't have to worry about a name change. But, like, when, you know what I mean? Like, I think, like, I take that for granted. Because, like, I work with a couple trans men now. I'm not going to name one of them because he's passing and stuff. But another one just changed his name again because I guess he kind of had, like, a transitioning name. And now he's called Eli, but it's like one of those things where it's like I didn't even think about the fact that like you're going through like that type of dysphoria. You know what I mean?
Like with your name.
All the paperwork you got to do to
fix fucking names is harder than freaking gender. Gender's like one time in court. I can't imagine.
Credit card applications.
So
credit card applications.
So how does that change for you because you don't have a dead name then?
I just don't have a dead name.
I mean, but does that not?
I have a dead gender.
Okay, but does that not bother you having the same name, though?
No, because I've always felt like Avery. And actually, my brother said this to my mom, and I think like all these lights went on in her house, if you will. But my brother said, "You realize Avery's always been a guy, right?" And then she was like, "Holy crap, yeah, he has." And it's like, because reality, like inside, mentally, I haven't changed much. I'm like, I'm still me and I'm still a guy. It's just now I can not pretend that I'm not pretending to my mom that I'll try
you can
dresses
look,
or anything
and you can look
and,
how you feel.
And so, and you know, and I can pursue these surgeries and all that. So really, like, my name is never, plus Avery is very much like a man's name as well as a woman's name. So like, I've just never had a problem with my name. But that's again where I'm fortunate because there are some people who have just straight up men's names or straight up women's name when they're born, and you do have to go through that whole process and find something you're comfortable with. Actually, I really wanted to talk to you about that. How did you come across Jennifer? Is that just something that like you liked?
My female name, both of them, Jennifer Dawn, is very close to my male name. And as I was starting to go through the process, I was trying to figure out exactly what things I would do in what order, and I wasn't sure how long it would take. So I was going to go from my dead name to J.D. Marshall, which would work in both cases.
That's so methodical.
And then change it into Jennifer Dawn when I was more comfortable.
You were so great about your transition. When we talked about it last time on the show, I just remember being very impressed because you were really, it was well organized. You very much are a teacher in a lot of parts of your life. Well,
you teach us, that's for sure.
No, 100.
Taught me a lot. You've taught me a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're also open to talk about it, which helps a lot.
A lot of trans females are not. A lot of trans females do not want to talk about surgery. In fact, I'll probably get hate mail because I'm talking about my surgery on the air.
Really? Education is what is needed because that's going to help people understand and not be so, why are you in the wrong restroom, if they understand it better.
That's why I consider myself a moderate. And I'm willing to talk about such things as long as it's treated in a
respectable
manner.
But people need to be educated. Like me, I didn't understand all of it.
And
absolutely not going to say I do.
There's radicals that, you can't talk about your surgery.
See, I never understood that because in my opinion, if someone is going to meet something with hate, then nobody's going to grow from that experience.
Exactly.
And the fact is, if someone's willing to ask me questions, like when people have people ask me the uncomfortable question, like, are you going to get a penis? Things like that. But it's like, I'll talk to you to a certain level, and I'll give you the information, the bare minimum of what you honestly need about that. But, like, I also don't want to come across as, why the fuck are you on my dick, bro? Like, I'm not going to be like that. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, I just want people to be more comfortable with trans people.
There are questions that I won't answer.
And as long as you draw your boundaries, and, like, and most people are respectful enough to be,
Exactly.
oh, okay, you know?
But if they're asking a lot of times, I think a lot of times when they ask, it's because they want to understand.
Yeah,
it.
they do.
They
for the
do.
most
And
part.
if you just don't shut them off, and then they're going to be like, well, okay, I don't understand that, and there's going to be more of that bullshit going
negative.
on and negativity if they don't.
But people also need to learn to accept that when those boundaries are drawn, like, it doesn't really matter if you understand what's going on there, because the point is that, like, you are moving along as a person, you know what I mean, and you are happy, and you know, to be fair though, my dad is probably the best example of that, because he goes, I don't get it. I'm just glad you're happy, buddy. Like, I don't get it.
I've had several people tell me that. I don't get what you're doing or why you're doing it, but I'm glad you're happier than what you were.
And honestly, I'm fine with that response.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
just glad you don't
Just
get it, and you're
respect
cool.
me for me.
Right. And as long as they're not, like, dead gendering and dead naming you, like,
Yeah.
then it, like, really
Well, and if
doesn't
they're
matter.
trying, I mean, I slip up every once in a while, but
Right,
I'm
but
trying.
There's a difference between someone who is purposely coming after you with the wrong pronoun. And I've had that happen to me before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, and again, that's where people don't understand dysphoria and how deep it can get. Because, I mean, I told you I was bullied at that one job. And that girl,
Mm-hmm.
she just kept coming after me every time she was upset with me with she, her, hers. Every time I didn't do
Just
something
to
she
piss you
wanted.
off.
Right.
Yeah.
And on some days, I could I could just brush it off. No big deal. I'm not going to use the word, but she, you know, she's just not a nice person. But then, you know, then there were other days where I'm like, I don't even need this effing job. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's just,
There's days that it cuts deeper than others.
yeah.
Wow. All right, so we have a new segment that we're going to do. It's called Gays Ask. So we've
Okay.
got some questions for you.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Go
You
ahead.
first. Okay. So my
Just fun
favorite
questions.
question that we've asked a couple people so far is, if you could be on any reality TV show and that you think you could win, that you think you would just enjoy competing in, what would it be?
I don't know. I don't watch much commercial television anymore.
Oh,
Gosh.
wow.
Yeah.
Not even, there's like nothing you can think of that you've like, I
I've
want to go on
seen
that
Survivor, and I don't really want to be out there.
I don't
wanna be Right?
on that
by
either.
myself.
Not happening.
Big Brother wouldn't be too bad, you know, something like that. That house looks nice.
show. And then you do like a talking
I
head
would-
every now and then to talk about how you're feeling.
Yeah, I wouldn't care about whether I won or not, but the house
Yeah,
looks nice.
yeah.
But the house, that'd be a nice vacation.
Oh, that'd be a nice little vacation.
So what's your best pickup line that you've ever used?
I'd like to know that.
Or
Because
has
I-
ever been
I do
used
not
on
have
you.
A boyfriend right
Well, oh, yeah, she's single. What's the best pickup line that's ever been used on you, or you've ever used? You've had dated before.
now. Yeah, but I've not dated since '87. I was married for 20-some years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well these
And I
questions
stole
aren't
her
working.
I say these questions are
I
questions
these
are
are
working.
spiraling.
My roommate at college.
Okay, no, I've got a good one. What is a place that has impacted you heavily in your life?
What is a place that has impacted me heavily in life? I teach social studies, so old buildings, monuments, the State House. I like to go see the old buildings and see the old architecture and feel the building
Yeah.
and see what it's like and what it's been used for, especially if it's been repurposed.
Yeah, and really get
Okay.
like a sense of its history.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
IU Hospital, of course, because that's where I had my surgery.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there you go.
It just kind of changed
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a little bit there.
Right. That's kind of like a bittersweet place, but
Well, Jennifer, again, like always, we just love having you on. I mean,
my
you are
God,
just
Time.
we
just
love
come
you.
on and we'll yell some more. It'll be great.
And educate us.
Yeah, anytime.
If you want to be on our show, reach out to us. You can find us at www.laughs.life. There's a contact me page.
Or you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, or TikTok. All 5 of them, babe.
There you go.
This has been Gays of Our Lives. Make sure to check out the Gays online at www.laughs.life.